And I think, especially latter years in ADB, whenever I heard the term low-hanging fruit, I would always say, "Look, do the high-hanging fruit, do the difficult stuff," because again, that's how societies and economies progress, because people do take the bull by the horns and address the big challenges. Let's do the high-hanging fruit. Anybody, any old person can do, any institution can do the low-hanging fruit. You don't need these massively capitalized, AAA-rated behemoths to be doing the easy stuff. We should be doing the high-hanging fruit. Yeah, get a ladder, invest, do the difficult stuff. And so that more and more, as my time came to an end, I suppose, I left ADB thinking MDBs should not be chasing the easy stuff. Do the difficult stuff. Show the way. Be revolutionary. Be radical. I think that's the type of thing you always did in your time.
That's right. I actually posted last week on LinkedIn that we did the last project. I did the last project, the $500 million in Turkmenistan. Exactly the same point my DG at the time and my director was saying, can we just do 50 million? I said, no, anybody can do $50 million project. I want to do 500 million or not doing it. So I said, let's take a bigger problem and then put all my energy into one, saying, okay, make it or break it. And it happened. And it happened because the size was big, that everyone knew that if it happens, the benefits are huge for us, for the client, for the suppliers, everyone else, because you could see a quantifiable benefit that is there for the very long time. So we changed the whole sort of instant power infrastructure, and recently ADB did a PCR or something and came back saying, yep, everything achieved was good. And I felt so good saying, had it been a tiny, exactly as you said, low-hanging fruit, yeah, it would be another low-hanging fruit, but we picked up the cherry on the top. But anyway, we shook everything until that fell down, but it was fun. And
Yeah.
that's what ADBs of the world, multilateral development banks. Yeah, I like that. Should do. Pick up things that others don't touch and then
Yeah.
just a good crack at it. No?
Absolutely, absolutely. And use all those. If you put all the MDBs end to end, I think you're looking at well over probably whatever, ADB is 165 billion, World Bank over 200 billion. It's colossal resources. So for my last years in ADB, as I mentioned, I was more involved with shareholder relations, particularly with ADB's European members. I think that's what you need also, especially in the current era where ODA has generally maybe not the best reputation everywhere, where there's a huge amount of public, let's say, resistance increasingly to ODA. You need exciting stuff. You need what drives MDBs a lot. The founding principle of an MDB was to provide capital to a poor region. That explains it. As Asia, 1960, whatever, ADB was founded in the late 60s, Asia was poor. It needed capital. And that's the fundamental principle of an MDB. You provide capital to a poor region. So there's also, I guess, that conflict. If you do big $500 million projects in Turkmenistan, is this going to take longer than the 50 million? Probably yes. So the question is, does this match with the DNA of wanting to have a regular flow of capital to this region? I would argue, yes, it's take the time, invest, have that greater impact. That way we keep, I think, developed country shareholders more on board, because there is, I think, the prospect of radical beneficial change, which can keep support in different capitals to keep things like grant and concessional funding going.
ADBs of the world, multilateral development banks, should pick up things that others don't touch and then just crack it. No?